Greetings, family. This is your brother in the kingdom, Emmanuel Destiny. Welcome to yet another episode, guys. And of course, this is the dead episode that you're watching under the Forex Beginner series. And today we want to talk about buying and selling currencies, because from the second episode, we're talking about what is traded, and we did establish a common understanding to say we're trading currencies. And of course, all currencies, I want to specify which ones and how to go about it. So let's just really understand exactly why we are buying and selling currencies. And of course, in Forex trading, we are actually buying and selling currencies simultaneously. Okay, currencies are traded through a Forex broker or a CFD provider, and of course, they are traded in a pair or in a sense of pairs. Currencies are quoted in relation to one currency, so to measure the value of coin. Where there's comparison, there's value. We're able to differentiate, and through that's what you are taking advantage of. For an example, we have the euro and the US dollar, like euro USD, or we have the British pound, the Japanese yen, the GDP JPY. So what we want to talk about when you trade in the market, right? You want to buy or sell currencies, and just imagine it in this way, because a lot of people don't really understand this concept of why do we trade a pair and not just one currency at the same time. Why do we trade them simultaneously like that? Imagine each currency pair constantly in a tug of war with each other, okay? With each currency on its own route. Of course, an exchange rate is the relative price of two currencies from two different countries. And of course, we can imagine it fighting for power, and of course, we'll have exchange rates, fluctuate based on which currency will be stronger at that moment. Okay, now I want to actually get to submit to you different types, right, of currency pairs that you can actually get when you are trading the Forex market, or rather, different categories, if I may put it like that. So we have the majors, we have the crosses, we have also the exotics. And of course, I will recommend the beginners to stay on the majors, but as you go, you need to explore some of the ones, but I'll be telling you all the information. Okay. So when we're talking about the major currency pairs, they always include the US dollars. When we're talking about the cross currency pairs, they do not include the US dollar. Okay, so crosses that involve any other major currencies are known as minors. So there is no US dollar, but there's other major currencies. And of course, we spoke about major currencies in the second episode, where we talked about those 8 major currencies. Okay, and of course, we have what we call exotic currency pairs that consist of one major currency pair and one currency from an emerging market. I'm gonna explain more on that as we go on. So we want to start, of course, with the major pairs, and I want to show you exactly what we're talking about when we're talking about major pairs here. Of course, these major pairs, or rather, all of the pairs that are listed here are major pairs, and all of them include the US dollar, as we say. Of course, while there are 8 major pairs, there are only actually 7 currency pairs that we have there. Compared to crosses and exotics, price moves more frequently with major pairs, and I'll tell you why. Because of the momentum that takes place, because there's more participation on people or traders trading this pair. So I just want to list them for you, then we can go to the other slides right now. So we have the euro USD there, and how you would say this in a Forex lingo, right? You'd say euro dollar. Of course, we have the Japanese yen. Many people you can just refer to as the dollar yen. We have the pound dollar. We have the dollar Swiss. We have the dollar loonie. We have the Aussie dollar, and of course, we have the Kiwi dollar. So that's how you want to always speak and address as you're talking about trading this major currency pairs. They're the most liquid in the world. Reason why? And of course, as we define the word liquid, some of you have heard me say this word before. Liquidity is used to describe the level of activity in the financial market. So in that sense, It's based on the number of active traders buying and selling currency pair, or that specific currency pair, and the volume being traded. Of course, the more frequently traded something is, higher in its liquidity. For example, more people will trade Euro USD on the currency pair compared to AUD USD. So this means that Euro USD will be more liquid than AUD USD. You get me? So now we want to talk about other categories here. We have the major cross pairs, or what we call minor cross pairs, as I was talking about them. And of course, also these are quite traded. They do have liquidity as well. But as a beginner, I would advise that you stick to these pairs that I was just listing over here. Okay. So we want to exactly go to these minor pairs, and we want to go into the into the categories. We have the Euro crosses there, where we have the Euro chef, or what we call Euro Swiss. We have Euro pound. We have Euro loonie, which is Euro CAD right there. We have Euro AUD, and of course, which is Euro Aussie. We have Euro Kiwi, we have Euro Stocky, we have Euro Lucky. So that's Euro Norway. Of course, we have Euro Sweden. Those are the ones that a lot of people I trade yet. Some of these YouTube channels, a lot of people are just focusing on Nasdaq, GDP USD, but these are some of the ones that you can actually trade as an individual. Of course, we have the other parts where we have the yen crosses. Of course, the yen is also one of the major currencies there. So the yen crosses with Euro JPY, with GDP JPY, with Swiss JPY, with CAD JPY, with AUD JPY, with NZD JPY. And of course, we have the names there that you can see on your screens, what you can actually call them. Kiwi yen, Aussie yen, loonie yen, Swiss yen, pound, or and then of course we have pound yen, right? And of course we have Euro yen, or just Yeti. Sounds funny, but that's the actual name there. And of course we have the other ones, which is the pound office, where we have the GDP Swiss, or pound Swiss. We have the pound Aussie, we have the pound loonie, and then of course we have the pound Kiwi. The reason why, of course, we don't have the GDP USD listed there is because that falls under the major currency pairs. So of course, we're just talking about other currencies that are majors, like your pound there. That's why we have them listed. Okay? And of course, we want to go to other crosses that you may trade and come across, which is now this major currencies, blending with one another. Where we have AUD Swiss, we have AUD loonie there, and then of course we have AUD New Zealand dollar, or you can just say Aussie Kiwi, and of course we have Luno Swiss there, and of course we have Kiwi Swiss and Kiwi Luno. So those are some of the pairs that fall under what we call the crosses. Now I want to talk to you about exotic pairs, and I want you to pay close attention to exactly what I'm going to be talking about right now. When we're talking about an exotic currency, is a currency from countries that are developing or emerging markets. I'll make examples right now. Exotic currency pairs are made up of one major currency pair paired up with an emerging market such as Brazil, Mexico, Chile, Turkey, and of course my South African land here, right here. And of course, we have basically, we want to talk about exotic pairs that include one currency pair or one major currency pair alongside with an exotic pair. Of course, I'm going to show you an example here that we're talking about some of these pairs. So we have, we have the USD Brazil, we have the USD Hong Kong, we have the USD Saudi Arabia, and of course we have USD Singapore, USD ZAR. Many of the people like to trade it, of course. Then we have the USD Thailand, with the USD Mexico, USD Russia, USD Holland, and USD Chile. Okay. And of course, these are some of the ones, but what I wanted to talk about when I talk about exotic pairs is that, of course, depending on your Forex broker, you will see that There will be high spreads because there is no much demand. So you might find that because they're not heavily traded like your majors and your crosses, the transaction costs are much bigger, but they find themselves being moved a lot or affected a lot by geopolitical news. So you'll find if you're trading USD, you'll find that it moves a lot to every announcement, whether it's from the US dollar or it's from the ZAR market this side. It will definitely affect it so much. So if you want to find yourself trading some of these pairs, you're going to be very much aware of trading fundamentals and how they impact the market. But of course, we're going to be covering that on other episodes as we go along. Anyway, guys, I just hope that this short presentation of why we buy and sell currencies and different types of currencies has really blessed you so much. And of course, as we said, we want to take it on beginner level. So everyone that's probably have gained so much value more than the intermediate and the advanced traders is the beginner that is watching this. And of course, if you're a complete beginner and you're watching this, kindly do subscribe, like, and also share it with your friends and family if you only gain value from this. Anyway, as you have subscribed, switch on that notification bell that you can get other videos that we upload each and every day on this channel, Prophetic Forex. Anyway, this is your brother in the kingdom, Emmanuel Destiny, signing out.